Hello and welcome back to the Cold Start Corner, your source for everything you need to plan, develop, and launch your private practice. So here we are progressing through this wonderful, fascinating, albeit at times overwhelming cold start journey. And today's episode, we are jumping into the second area of the development phase, which is all about technology and workflows. But let's start by just assessing where we are in the process. So you'll recall it all started with your vision, right? Way back when it all started with your vision. And the first big phase of your cold start journey was that planning phase, which, as you'll recall, was all about that financial forecast, feasibility analysis, and that strategic business plan, right? Laying down that good, solid foundation that you need for the path forward. Then you jump into phase two. In the last episode, or last series of episodes, we walked through the first key element of phase two, and that is office location and build out, and all that goes into that. Not only optimizing that location of the space, but really ensuring that optimization is around those three primary areas we're wanting to address, which is location regarding marketability, location from the standpoint of ongoing expenses of the space and occupancy, and location in terms of build-out costs and startup expense. So if you missed that, go back into the archives. You definitely want to check out those episodes. But today we're talking about technology and workflows. And what we're really referring to here is really focusing on setting up the processes that are going to be best suited to delivering that top level of care, right? And truly delighting your patients and ensuring long-term growth and efficiency of your practice with minimal headaches. So the idea here is that if you think sequentially as far as the timing of this, right? Think from the standpoint of once your build out has commenced and your contractor and their team are going through and doing their work, at that time is when you want to make the most of your time and dig into this area, technology and workflows. So these next three episodes are going to be all centered around that. So, and remember, it's all about your practice vision. It's all about the scope of care, patient experience, and your professional and personal goals, and ultimately your exit strategy. So jumping into technology and workflows. This is where you're going to be establishing all of the standard operating procedures, and ensuring that they are simple, they're easy to train your personnel on, and definitely are going to utilize innovative modern business solutions to ensure you're minimizing headaches, you're minimizing overhead, and you're maximizing that ROI. So the result here is that you're going to have the processes, the procedures, and the workflows in place for moving forward with hiring your team. So technology and workflows is going to be composed of 6 key areas. And the first of these is your technology suite, right? So if you think from the standpoint of all that's going into this area of your project, and this area where you need to bring the structure, right, and make the decisions, it's about the technology and the workflows. They're going to see to it that you're able to perform what you're looking to perform, right? So technology suite being here, everything regarding, and we're going to dig into it a bit more detail shortly here, but really the degree to which all of those solutions that are being used and the processes, right? Job descriptions, workflow processes, and all of that stuff that are going to be incumbent of ensuring that your team is going to be utilizing the technology to accomplish the task of the day-to-day. So first key area here is going to be technology suite. Now, below that, you now have these 2 kind of sub areas, and one is going to be the role of team tech, right? That's going to be kind of more the internal technology being utilized. And then think of your external as being patient tech, right? And again, we're going to dig more into that momentarily here. So from there, then, doesn't stop there, right? Because there's more to just the technology that's being utilized, right? But then we have to get into application. And this is where you're getting into stuff like the procedures manual, right? Practice infrastructure. And this is a fascinating area in and of itself. It's actually going to be addressed in one of the later episodes here. And last but certainly not least is all like licensing and insurances and stuff like that. So I really want you to think here from the standpoint of, again, some of these infrastructural components that are integral to the practice, launch, intake, and flight. So today we're going to focus solely on this first area, which is technology suite, and the emphasis on team tech and patient tech. Now, what are we referring to regarding technology suite? Really, again, want you to consider the degree to which your operations and your management systems are utilizing technology, both hardware and software solutions. So included here is going to be all of your computers and IT, telecommunications, utilities, getting into some of the SaaS solutions here, your EHR, your practice management systems, all the integrations through and through. And even just ensuring that the architecture behind everything is really thoughtful in its application. A really fascinating topic in and of itself is just simply like process optimization through integrations and technology architecture. It's a really fascinating world. So and definitely something that's constantly evolving. So you'll want to be sure here that when you're getting into developing this area for your cold start, again, you're very methodical in it. Now, mind you, if you're wondering to yourself, well, Eric, what about the costs associated with that? If that's on your mind, then that's where I'll refer you back to one of the very early episodes in the Cold Start Corner, your financial forecast and feasibility analysis. Because remember, if you did your due diligence there and took time to come up with that detailed pro forma, that detailed financial forecast and feasibility analysis, the expenses, the costs were already captured there in your financial models. So what we're talking about here is more making the decisions on the exact solutions that are going to be utilized and how those solutions are going to be integrated together in your practice to ensure, again, minimal headaches, minimal overhead, and max ROI in the process. So here when we're talking about technology suite, then we get into two subsections, and one is going to be team tech and the other patient tech. So we'll jump into that right now. What we're referring to here is looking at these solutions from the standpoint of how they will serve each of those stakeholders, right? So if you think of all the people involved in the practice, right? I suppose just think of the three stakeholders of the practice. You've got the practice itself, the bottom line, right? But then you've also got the people that are involved, and that being your team and the other patients. So think the degree to them and their experience. So from a team technology standpoint, think about all these internal processes and all the software solutions that will be utilized along the way, in addition to how, again, they will be integrated into the practice so as to what? Minimize overhead and headaches and maximize that ROI. Likewise, you then shift over from a patient standpoint. And here, consider the patient journey and all touch points of the patient journey and the degree to which technology could serve to further enhance that experience and delight patients. And it's really fascinating here to see the degree to which, and there's times when team technology and patient technology overlap and utilization of resources there. By the way, if you want to learn more about some of that, we've got some really great interviews with some thought leaders in that front. Make your way over to Akrinos Access. You'll see some really great stuff, in addition to a host of other one else we got here in the Cold Start Corner. So once again, here we are. We're jumping into the second key phase of the development phase of the process, that being technology and workflows, and where you're starting to really identify both the hardware and software solutions that are going to be utilized, and also those operations. So we touch here on this episode on technology suite, your team tech, and your patient tech. Stay tuned for the next upcoming episodes. We're actually getting into more about how to build a procedures manual and team training and stuff along that, as well as practice infrastructure and licensing and insurance. Hey, if you're looking for more great insights and tips on everything you need to plan, develop, and launch your cold start, make your way back over to the Cold Start Corner for everything you need along the way. On behalf of our team at Akrinos, Eric Matei signing off.